3, 2. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Flash Fried, the show where we look at the news of the world and weep in despair. Right, Paul?
Well, maybe that's what you do with it.
Uh-huh.
I look at the news of the world, which should cause a normal human being to weep in despair, and I laugh, sir. I choose to laugh in the face of all the tragedy.
Paul's in a mirthful mood today. Man accused of shooting Waffle House employee after dispute over face mask.
Damn.
His defense. Well, look, TJ, I don't need to read this garbage article from some liberal rag. Tell you what happened. How you gonna eat you some hash browns and a waffle if you got a mask on your face? You tell me how you do it, TJ.
Yeah.
You explain that to me. How you supposed to say safe if you got a mask on your face? You explain that to me, TJ. Liberal.
A Colorado man has been charged with attempted murder after police say he shot a Waffle House worker after being told to wear a face covering inside the restaurant during the coronavirus pandemic. Kelvin Watson, 27, was arrested Monday by the Aurora Police Department, local Fox affiliate KDVR reported. The man reportedly entered the restaurant after midnight on May 14th without a mask. A waitress told the man he needed one in order to be served, the outlet reported, citing an arrest affidavit. He allegedly returned to the Waffle House with a mask, was not wearing it, and was told he could not be served. Police say they were told the man put a gun on the restaurant's counter and told the cook he could blow your brains out. The next day, authorities say Watson returned to the restaurant and was told he could not be served. Watson is accused of slapping the cook across the face. As the employees ran through the back of the restaurant, Watson allegedly shot him in his chest or abdomen outside, KDVR reported, citing the court documents. The cook told authorities that he ran in the direction of his home while calling 911, the outlet noted. He was taken to a nearby hospital and released last week. The Aurora Police Department confirmed to The Hill that the motivation for the shooting is still under investigation. The city of Aurora does not currently have a mandate that residents wear masks or coverings in public places. We are relieved to hear the Aurora police have made an arrest for this terrible crime and greatly appreciate the diligence of local law enforcement, Waffle House spokesman Najeri Boss said in a statement to The Hill. This case involves a senseless act of violence that should not be tolerated in any community, blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, useless platitudes.
So, you know, you know, I when I saw this story this morning, it's like, yeah, man shot in Waffle. I'm like, man, why is this even in the news? This is just a typical night at Waffle House.
Yeah, I mean, that shit happens in a Waffle House from time to time.
What'd you say to me?
I mean, like, you know, if we were to if we're going to write about every single little Waffle House shooting, then, you know, I mean, that's all you're going to be reading about.
I mean, honestly, part of what makes Waffle House so fucking delicious is the knowledge that at any moment shit could jump off in there. You know, it's like the fear adds to the tastiness of that crispy bacon.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, you know, you're in a Waffle House, you know that damn near, you know, pretty much anything can happen there. Like, if
you know, it probably won't.
If you're in a Waffle, yeah, I mean, like, not necessarily, but you know it can. Like, if you're in a Waffle House, no matter how far-fetched the situation, like, you know, if you're in a Waffle House and all of a sudden through the glass window a fucking, you know, like centaur busts in and is like
a centaur?
Yeah, centaur. He starts fucking decapitating people or something. You're like, well, it is Waffle House. You know?
Okay, I have to admit, and maybe it's just because
of outrageousnthe, dude, that I would not believe.
Maybe it's because I haven't been in the South quite long enough yet, but I think if a centaur jumped through the plate glass front of a Waffle House I was eating in, I might go ahead and be shocked about it.
You know, I would continue right on eating my hash browns.
I mean, I probably would too, but
like, centaur.
Bullshit, dude. If a fucking centaur broke through the glass, you guys would be like, oh my God, what the fuck?
No, well, listen, Scotty, I'll admit, if I was anywhere else and a centaur broke through the glass, I would fucking freak out. But if I was at Waffle House, I mean, it's Waffle House. What do you expect? Centaurs happen, you know? Everything happens at a Waffle House. If the entire Waffle House was lifted off the ground and I stuck my head out the window and saw that it was being tractor beamed up into space by a UFO, I'd just be like, well, I mean,
you'd be fine with it.
That's just how it goes.
Oh, whatever, TJ.
It's crazy that this dude literally like rather than wear a face mask, shot somebody. Like that doesn't get me. Like I'm not surprised where it happened.
Well,
it
did say at the end that the police have said that the motive for the shooting is still under investigation. So these dudes might have beef with each other outside of what we're being told or whatever.
I mean, probably not. I think it's probably just the fact that this dude is just someone that is totally against that, and he wanted his Waffle House fixed, and they're just like, can't have it. You got to wear a mask.
Maybe the Waffle House guy fucked the dude's wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess.
And the dude knows it, and everybody knows it, and then the Waffle House guy was using
Paul,
that.
Let's be honest. It's a dude going to Waffle House at midnight by himself. We know what happened. This dude came there before, and he wanted his hash brown order. He's like, scattered, covered, chunked, and diced, or whatever. And he gets in, and it's like, scattered, it's covered, it's chunked, but it's not fucking diced. And it's a little overcooked. And he's like, you know what? Fuck this dude. I'm coming back tomorrow, and I'm going to give him a piece of my fucking mind. And before he can even sit down and complain about them fucking up his order from last time, they're like, you got to wear a mask, sir. Got to wear you a mask. And he's like, you ain't going to tell me what to do, liberal. I ain't wearing no mask. And then it just fucking popped off from there. He came back with a gun. Lucky he didn't blow his brains out. The guy even said before, I'll blow your brains out.
Yeah, I mean, like, he gave him fair warning.
I mean, he shot him in the abdomen. I mean, he was doing a public service there.
Like, he gave him fair warning. He's like, I could blow your brains out. You know, he
could.
No.
I mean, it is thoughtful for a shooter. You think about it. I mean, a lot of shooters just kill people. Yeah, like, I could.
Let me ask you this: if you're about to get shot, would you rather have a shooter that just like fucking his rage against you mounts, but he doesn't say anything until that moment he snaps and blows your brains out, or would you rather have a shooter that lets you know, hey, I'm starting to get upset, and I am capable of blowing your brains out, so that you can modulate your behavior so as to avoid that outcome? You know, that's a very considerate shooter. So this guy, this cook, is a piece of shit. You know, he had advance warning. He knew that he had incensed this customer. And by the way, whatever happened to the customer's always right, huh? Whatever happened to the fucking customer's always right. This is America. If a man doesn't want to wear a mask, shouldn't have to wear it. And as Scotty pointed out at the top of this story, how the fuck's he supposed to eat wearing a mask? You know? What's he supposed to do?
That's a good point.
You can't teleport hash browns or eggs through a fucking face mask.
You don't step between a man and his Waffle House. You just don't.
Bullshit. You know, this man obviously is the victim of a relentless campaign of harassment and persecution from this Waffle House, the staff of this particular Waffle House.
The employee, by the way, that told him to put the mask on, fucked his wife.
Yep. I have it on good authority. Fucked his wife right there in the Waffle House with all the customers watching.
Yep.
Damn. And they fucked up his order, too. That's pretty fucked up.
And then, you know,
and his hash browns were not diced.
Yeah. Undiced. I mean, like, think about it. I mean, like, so really, like, this guy is the victim here. I mean, really, because, I mean, like, first of all, he was asked to wear a mask that would prevent him from eating the delicious food that he wanted so desperately.
Yeah.
Defeating the even purpose of being a Waffle House. The cook fucked his wife. The cook purposefully fucked up his order. And even with all of that, this innocent shooter warned this man.
Fair warning, dude.
Right. I mean, I think that there is such a thing as justifiable homicide. Now, I understand the cook lived, but even if he had died, this would fall under the category, I think, of justifiable fucking homicide.
Wow.
I see.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I know this man shot this other man, but once you hear the reasons why, you will understand that there's incontrovertible proof this shooting was in fact justified on the grounds he denied this man a tasty waffle, a hash brown, bacon, and eggs.
Amen. Some nursing homes are taking resident stimulus checks, FTC warns. Nursing homes have no claim to their resident stimulus checks. That hasn't stopped some facilities from trying to take them away. The nursing homes in several states are requesting residents sign over their stimulus checks. The facilities may say they get to keep their payment if the patient is on Medicaid, which isn't true, said Louis Greisman, the FTC's elder justice coordinator. Here's why. The stimulus checks are considered tax credits, per the CARES Act, which is providing economic relief to people and businesses. Those tax credits don't count as resources for federal benefit programs like Medicaid. So the government cannot claim them, and neither can the nursing homes. This is not just a horror story making the rounds, Greisman said. These are actual reports that our friends in the Iowa Attorney General's office have been getting and handling. Other states have seen the same. Greisman urged facility owners to report the practice and return the money. Residents and their family members should contact their state attorney general's office, she said. And if you're not sure whether you're being swindled, the FTC has a resource to identify common coronavirus scams. Stimulus check scams appeared before the first checks were even issued. Since March, phony websites, texts, emails, and robocalls ask people for their personal or financial information to receive their checks, claiming to work for the federal government. Some links may contain malware that can steal users' private information, so scammers can claim their checks. That ending paragraph is kind of unrelated to the rest, but yeah, the main thrust of it is the nursing homes are stealing the stimulus checks.
I mean, it's just more elder abuse. I mean, these nursing home places are just absolutely rife with fucking examples of elder abuse, neglect, and outright theft from the people that live there. There's always, like, I remember reading stories long ago about these workers cozying up to these old people and convincing them in their addled states to sign over property to them, and or, you know, give them these giant balloon loans that never get paid back, you know what I mean, and nobody ever knows about.
So an interesting thing is nursing homes as a concept were actually started by two people who would say, like, yeah, we'll take care of the elderly. We'll take care of the elderly. We just put them here and we'll take care of them. And then they would murder them and take all their money and, you know, whatever else. So that's literally how the concept of the nursing home began. That was the beginning of it, was a murder old people scam. And you know, so I mean, like, you know, I'm not really surprised by this.
And with COVID-19, I mean, so many people dying in nursing homes, being swindled. I mean, literally taking their stimulus checks. Like, look, you don't need it, Grandpa. Just sign it over to the nursing home. Fuck these places. They're totally unethical, immoral, just fucking social parasites. I mean, I'm not saying, like, no, look, now, not every single one of them is bad. There's definitely good ones. Like Taylor's grandma's in one that's really good, and she has never had a problem. But there's other ones you hear like this. They're taking people's money. They're abusing them. They're not taking care of them. They're dying from neglect. You know, like, if they're going to exist, they need way more stringent laws. They need federal laws protecting people. Like, they need stuff like when people go to these places, they can't transfer assets unless they're of a sound mind. There needs to be way more precautions taken to protect people in these places. If they have to be there, there needs to have maximum legal protection. There shouldn't be some employee sweet talking them into signing over, you know, a property to them or whatever. That just shouldn't be allowed to happen, especially someone who's losing mind.
What was it? Happy Gilmore, where Adam Sandler puts his grandma in like a nursing home, and it's like Ben Stiller is like the evil order.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Can I trouble you for a warm glass of milk?
That's like the beginning of Happy Gilmore, and it's one of the best parts of the movie.
Like, you can trouble me for a warm glass of shut the hell up.
Yeah, he's all mean. Like, as soon as he's out of earshot of one of the family members or somebody else, he's all, you know.
He's super nice.
Yeah. As soon as he's out of the earshot, man, he's like a total fucking Nazi to these old people. He's got them like churning out quilts that he's selling and shit, and he's forcing them.
Market quilt trade. Maybe I should rewatch that again, because
I'm telling you, dude, I don't understand why. Like,
I tried to watch it, I was like, but you know, now that I'm thinking about that, maybe I'll at least go watch that scene again.
You know, I think it's aged better than a lot of people give it credit for. I hear the argument all the time that it's aged terribly, but I don't know. I mean,
and,
it's,
you know, like, look, the thing about the old people thing is, like, you know, other than kids, they're probably like the most vulnerable. I mean, they might even be more vulnerable.
They're more.
No one's looking out for them, really, right?
Not really.
Like, people reach a certain age where they become like a hindrance or an inconvenience. It's like, send them to the home. I got my own shit to deal with, you know? And it's like, here you go here to die. And, you know, no one fucking really checks up on them too much. Maybe like, oh, I'm going to go visit dad in the home for the, you know, once a month or whatever the fuck it is. And you know, they just fucking they sit around and they fucking get exploited by these fucking crooked nurse. I'm like, if you, I understand that not all nursing homes are crooked, not all people who work there are crooked, but you know, there's.
I mean, all it takes is one.
Yeah, it's obvious why it's rife there because people are just not paying attention, and you know, it's stupid not to care about this. Even if you don't give a fuck about any of these old people, like one of these days that might be you getting exploited in your fucking twilight years when you're fucking not all there. So, you know, maybe you should give a shit just for selfish fucking reasons. If for no other reason.
Or maybe not. Fuck these old people.
Fuck them. Fuck them.
What have they done for me lately?
Chance, now they old.
They done had their chance to live.
So fucking funny when an old person gets murdered and someone's like, they killed that 86-year-old man. And it's like, oh my God. But it's like, we throw 86-year-old men into like, here, you go to this horrible place to suffer and die and no one cares about you. And it's like, well, but when someone murders one, it's like, oh my God. I mean, you know.
Of course.
Selective concern for the elderly. I love it.
Especially in a society that we so many people claim they love freedom and liberty so much, but the first fucking chance of having to deal with an obligation like a family member is old, they're just like, fuck them. Shove him away into a fucking box and never let me see him again.
I saw a fucking meme the other day. It's not about old people. It's actually about, it kind of ties both of our stories together, I guess, in a way, because it's about face masks. But the first panel was like, showed like some great American patriot, like, I'd do anything for this country. And the next panel's like, we need you guys to wear these face masks. And then the last panel's like, no, no. So like it just shows the emptiness of fucking American jingoistic bullshit. And you know, this is just another example of people pretending to give a shit when they really don't. Sheriff, man gouges out neighbor's eyes over loud rooster.
Okay, so have you guys ever grown up around a place where there's a rooster going off?
Yep.
Like you've tried to, so it is like in the movies and stuff, there's like this kind of stock rooster sound that gets used over and over again. And it sounds almost pleasant.
Yeah.
The truth of roosters is, and a rooster's crow, is that it is one of the most horrible noises that you will ever wake up to.
The other thing they lie about too is, you know, in the movies, the sun comes up, the rooster goes cock-a-doodle-doo.
And that's it.
And that's it. In real life, that motherfucker don't shut up.
It's about 30 to 45 minutes.
He's just like, kill it.
I wouldn't say it sounds like that, but it's like pretty horrible.
I mean,
well, you do a better rooster than me. I don't know what to tell you.
Like it just has like it'll just do it every like 2 or 3 seconds for like 30 minutes.
I mean, they start probably about 10, 15, 20 minutes before the sun comes up, maybe even earlier.
Sometimes.
And until the sun is above the horizon, basically, they continue. So I'd say about an hour is not uncommon to have a fucking rooster just out there cocking, doodling, and doing. And then if you have like multiple roosters, well, then it becomes like a fucking competition.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And that's it's a cacophony. You know what I mean? It's literally never stops. It's one of the most fucking annoying sounds that a human being can endure, especially at a time when most people are like dead ass asleep.
So,
with that all under consideration, a West Virginia man accused of gouging his neighbor's eyes out over a loud rooster has been charged with murder, authorities said. Richard Wayne Ellison, 47, of Rock, was arrested Sunday by the Mercer County Sheriff's Department in the killing of Benny Fouch, the Bluefield Daily Telegraph reported, citing a statement from the agency. In an interview, Ellison told the detective he killed the rooster because it was crowing and then gouged out his neighbor's eyes because Lucifer made him do it.
Okay.
The devil made me do it. Dude, the oldest trick in the book.
To a request for a mental evaluation, the complaint said the Princeton Rescue Squad found the body of the victim outside and requested law enforcement. When looking at the victim, the gouging out of his eyes appeared to be his cause of death. but the body was being sent for autopsy. Ellison was arraigned, and a judge set a $200,000 cash-only bond. It wasn't immediately clear whether Ellison had.
Damn, who knew Satan played a role in all of this?
Yeah.
Tired of hearing the crow?
Fucking rooster. It was like, nah, and well, went over there and killed the rooster. It was about that time Lucifer showed up and was like, you know what you should do? Gouge your fucking neighbor's eyes out.
No, maybe man. Lucifer was the rooster. Maybe it was like the son of Sam. He's like that loud dog that the son of Sam heard talking about.
Come to snuff the rooster.
No, you know what happened, dude? That dude woke up again, and the devil was on his shoulder, smiling at him. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Listening to that cock crow again? Hey, I've got an idea. Why don't you go over there and gouge your old neighbor's eyes out and kill that rooster? You'll never be awakened again. And the guy's like, you know what, Satan? You on to something. And he fucking killed him, dude. That's it. He's done.
I think that rooster just started crowing him the instructions. Like he'd wake up to that crow every morning, and then he'd be like looking in the mirror in the bathroom, and he'd hear a crow that sounded like, "Gouge out my eyes!"
Dude, this is fucked up.
Adult film star Ron Jeremy fights to save tree outside his childhood home in Queens.
Damn. Well, I thought, wait a minute.
What'd you think, Paul?
I thought Ron Jeremy was fucking dead.
No, he's not.
You did?
Why the hell did you think he was dead?
I thought he passed away, like in 2010 or some shit.
No,
he's out here defending a fucking tree, Paul. Damn, dude, really? You thought he was dead?
Wow, this is actually a really positive news story for me because I learned that Ron Jeremy's not dead.
Yeah, he's not dead. Adult film star Ron Jeremy is fighting to save a tree his father planted outside their New York home the day he was born. Jeremy took to Twitter Saturday saying the utility con Edison was going to cut down the tree that was planted in Queens in 1953. The tweet includes a 2018 photo of Jeremy hugging the tree outside the home on Bell Boulevard in Bayside. And Ron Jeremy says, "I need your help. Help me save my tree. This tree was planted by my dad the day I was born. Please let Con Edison know they cannot tear down this tree."
Damn, dude. Poor Ron Jeremy. He just wants his childhood tree to live, man.
For some reason, this was on like The Onion. No, I'm sorry, not The Onion. Well, it's a ridiculous story. I don't really see why it's ridiculous. Like, porn star wants to save sentimental tree. I mean, it's a little, I guess, but it's not like, oh,
his fucking dad. I mean, he was obviously long fucking dead.
The day he was born. I can understand him wanting to fucking sentimentally save the tree.
Well, to tie it back to his family, I mean, the tree was planted in 1953. Like, there's obviously a sentimental thing. Like, his dad, I'm sure, who's fucking dead. I mean, he was born in 53. I mean, come on. Or his dad's ancient, but I would assume he's dead. And it's like, this is like a lasting thing. And it's like, yeah, we're going to cut this fucking tree down. It's like, of course, he's going to be like, fuck you. Don't cut this goddamn tree down. This tree actually means something to me.
Jeremy, who's been staying at the Hollywood Hotel during the coronavirus pandemic, told the New York Daily News that a neighbor let him know that the trunk was wrapped in yellow tape last week. I looked after that tree all my life. They tried to chop down the tree. They tried to chop the tree down years ago, but I wouldn't let them, Jeremy said. I even belted myself to the tree. The tree is on city property, and the Parks Department can choose to remove it, according to Con Edison, who replied to Jeremy's tweet. It is up to the city to decide whether to remove the tree to avoid any potential damage it may cause to surrounding power lines.
Fuck the power lines, dude.
Yeah, like let this man save Ron Jeremy's wood. Let this man keep his tree. God damn it.
Yeah, do what you got to do to build around nice old established trees in neighborhoods.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is I mean, like, come on, like, how many trees we got, really? You know?
I mean, it's just one. It's one of the things that about living in a neighborhood that makes it nice to have a few fucking old trees around. It lets you know that
especially one that has a connection to a fucking famous.
Yeah.
You know, Ron Jeremy was born in this neighborhood. He's probably the most important thing to ever come out of that neighborhood. Let's be real.
He's got a dick that's as big around and long as that fucking tree.
I know. He's got a big dick. He's fucked a lot of beautiful women on film. You know,
and a big fat hog.
You know, maybe not everyone thinks that's the most respectable career or whatever. But at the end of the day, he made it big and he's famous. And, we all know who Ron Jeremy is. So, like, defend his tree. Why? Like, what reason other than spite would they have to get rid of this tree? Oh, it might fall on a power line. Oh, we're going to fucking hold like, what is this fucking prior restraint against this tree? Has this tree harmed any power lines to date? I don't believe it has.
This tree's innocent. Save the tree.
Even if this tree fell on a power line, like, how long does it really take to fix the fucking power line? It don't take but a minute. Do some pruning maybe.
The tree looks healthy to me. I mean, judging by this image, the tree looks pretty fucking healthy. Let the tree live.
The tree looks robustly healthy and happy. Leave the tree be. Save Ron.
Let it be. Let it be. Let this fucking tree fucking be.
That's where I'm at on it.
I agree with you, man.
Hungary bans legal recognition of its transgender citizens.
Good. They scare me.
Budapest, Hungary. Hungarian lawmakers on Tuesday approved. What's that, Scotty?
Budapest, TJ.
Pesh. All right.
You uncultured swine.
Pesh.
Thank you, TJ.
I didn't realize that it identified as a Budapest.
Of course you wouldn't, TJ.
Hungarian lawmakers am I saying Hungarian right? Or is it Hungarian? Hungarian.
TJ, if I had to correct everything you said wrong, we'd be here all day. Just proceed.
Lawmakers on Tuesday approved legislation. All right. Banning the legal recognition of transgender citizens. Amendments to the law on the birth, death, and marriage registry, approved mostly by deputies from Prime Minister Viktor Orban's Vidits party, will prevent transgender or intersex people from legally changing their gender to match their gender identity. The bill changes the sex category in official documents like birth certificate to sex at birth, defined as biological sex determined by primary sex characteristics and chromosomes. Once determined, the birth sex category can't be changed. The amendments were part of a large legislative package submitted by Deputy Prime Minister Zsolt Seaman. I'm going to ignore that J.
You're probably butchering it, but yeah.
Head of the Christian Democratic Party. Given the complete change of the biological sex is not possible, it is necessary to state in law that there is no possibility to change it in the registry of births, marriages, or deaths either. An explanation accompanying the amendment said. The legislation has come under strong criticisms from rights groups, which are asking Hungary's president to refrain from signing the bill into law and send it for review to the Constitutional Court. Among those expressing concerns about the legislation were the European Parliament, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, the Council of Europe's Commissioner for Human Rights, and the Hungarian Psychological Society. This decision pushes Hungary backwards toward the Dark Ages and tramples on the rights of transgender and intersex people. Amnesty International Hungary international researcher Christina Tomasori said in a statement, it will not only expose them to further discrimination, but will also deepen an already intolerant and hostile environment faced by the LGBTI community. Everyone's gender identity should be legally recognized, and everyone should be allowed. Blah 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 blah.
Makes sense to me.
What a weird, meaningless use of the power of this, like
an abuse of power. It's taking away someone.
We're gonna preemptively say we're not only like we're it's so fucking weird to just be like we're gonna preemptively just say this can't happen. Like, we're never going to let this happen. We need a law that says this can't happen.
What's your biological sex at birth? Male? That's what you are. I can't change it? Nope.
I mean...
Did your chromosome change? No. Chromosome didn't change. Well, that's it. I mean... And the access to that's case closed.
Like, if you're of the conservative mindset and you just, like, think, I don't like transgender people, and I don't think that they're fucking what they say they are, and blah 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 blah. Like, I can understand taking a measure like, I'm against letting them change their shit on the birth certificate, but like to take like a countermeasure in the other direction of being like, we're gonna like make sure that can never happen. We're gonna do everything in our power to make sure that they'll never be able to do that. You know what I mean? Like, we got to go in the opposite direction and actually start, like, try to even prevent like a future generation from like changing its mind. You know, like we got to put as much, you know, of a fucking legal barrier to this ever happening as possible, because the thought that maybe someday people will think differently is scary to me.
You know, I don't know, dude. The fucking judgment has been in on my end for trans people and trans rights for a long fucking time. But I'm not going to claim that it was always that way. You know, when I was younger, trans people were the butt of a lot of jokes and a lot of misunderstanding. I had a lot of assumptions about trans people that, you know, turned out to be completely and utterly wrong. But I also grew up with a person that ended up being a trans person, or didn't end up being, was a trans person, and came out in her early 30s. And I saw, like, there's no doubt in my mind that it's real. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a contention that a lot of people make about transgender people, is that, you know, it's just some kind of fad, and that they go through this trying to make themselves happy, and it never works. Like, I have no doubt that trans people exist, and if that's the case, then they should have equal recognition and equal rights.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that even if you're conservative, it's not, you know, it's just hypocrisy, because if you don't want the government telling you how to live your life and what to do and who you can love and who you can be,
just fucking bullshit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's why it rings hollow, because if those were truly the principles those people believed in, they wouldn't want the government telling anyone what to say or what, you know, like, yeah, you can say someone's biologically born as a male or female, but if they grow up and decide, nope, I'm trans and I want to become this other gender, I'm going to adopt this, you know, persona, I'm going to adopt this identity. As long as it's not affecting you directly, that's none of my business.
Whenever a conservative starts talking about freedom, I'm always like, shut up. You're so full of shit. It's not even funny. You guys do not believe in freedom. I've never met a conservative who fucking believed in freedom to any fucking extent. You believe in like certain freedoms. That's what you believe in. You don't believe in like any sort of like broad definition of freedom. Now, granted, everyone's going to have some limits on there. Well, I guess not everyone. Maybe you could be like, I just believe in complete and utter anarchy, and, you know, with no system in place, and just fucking, you know, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Everyone should just fucking laissez-faire.
Do what thou will shall be the whole of the law. Yeah.
Right. But even then, I don't really think of that. I mean, like, even that position, I don't really think of as true freedom, because there's going to be roving bands of fucking psychopaths with machetes and guns that control the fucking society at that point. So, you know, it's hard to find a fucking equilibrium on it. But like the conservative idea, like they're always like, oh, freedom and individual rights, freedom and individual rights. Yeah, I'd like to identify as a woman. No! It's like,
well, if they truly believed in freedom, then they'd be yelling no, but in the sense of like, no, the government shouldn't do this. You should have a right to, like, even though I disagree with you, you should still have a right to change your gender or change your identity on paper.
Do whatever you want.
And live that way if that's how you so choose, even though I disagree with you.
Well,
if you truly value freedom and plurality, that's what you would say.
When it comes to these sexual issues of gender identity or, you know, whatever sexual orientation, there's a double hypocrisy with conservative people, because such a profound amount of them hold that position and are you know, vehemently on the side of that position because of repressed homosexuality. And that's just been shown time and time again, just in this country alone. How many, you know, hardcore, you know, fucking commanders of the anti-gay movement end up getting caught with a dick in their mouth or their foot underneath a bathroom stall. You know what I mean? Like, how many times is this type? Like, how many times is a man?
Starnes? Something Starnes.
Ted Haggard is completely headed.
Yeah, Ted Haggard was my favorite one, because that one was like, he was literally the most popular Christian in the country. He was like the new Billy Graham at that point. He's having daily meetings with President Bush, you know, like daily fucking briefings with President Bush was part of his purview.
Wasn't he also going to cheap hotels and doing meth and getting fucked in the ass?
Yeah, he was doing cheap meth in cheap hotels and getting fucked up the ass by gay prostitutes. And you know, he got caught red-handed doing it, or red bootied, I guess.
Yeah, red bootied.
And
you know what? I mean, honestly,
what was that one guy that fucking it was like a senator or a Congress. I think it was a senator. Like
Larry Craig.
Yeah, Larry Craig.
Was that the one that
would
the foot tapper?
Yeah, he was the foot tapper.
Yeah, was he the one that was also on like on the news being like, and Bill Clinton's been a naughty boy at work, you know?
Oh yeah,
he was a weirdo, dude.
He was part of the like real vocal anti-Clinton squad when Clinton was in power.
Oh, sexual immorality.
But of course he's in a fucking boy. This is the weirdest shit to me, you know. I've just never even thought to do this in my entire life, but like he's in an airport bathroom trying to
man, now's the time to get some dick. You know what I mean?
It's like, how does that even work? I've been in those. They're packed with people coming and going constantly. Like, how do you butt fuck somebody? How do you butt fuck or blow somebody in a bathroom? I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but
Paul is very busy. You go to the bathroom with them and you say, "Let us have sex," and then you have sex in the bathroom, and if the people do not like it, that is their problem.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow, that's a very Austrian perspective that you've got, Scotty.
What, Paul? You go to the bath. You've never been to the bathroom, and you get very horny, and you want to fuck, so you go and fuck in the bathroom.
I've been in a lot of bathrooms, and I've been horny, but I guess I've never been horny enough to like reach underneath the stall with my foot and hope that whoever was sitting over there shitting would blow me.
Hold me closer, random bathroom guy. How my butthole while we wait for our flight.
Spotify strikes podcast deal with Joe Rogan worth more than $100 million.
Oh, Rogan got paid, dude.
Yeah, this is huge.
$100 million.
I cannot fucking believe Joe Rogan. I mean, I'm sure he probably didn't get it all at once, but I mean, that's still an insane amount of money to get for your podcast. Wow.
Joe Rogan is taking his podcast exclusively to Spotify technology in a licensing deal worth more than $100 million. According to a person familiar with the matter. The licensing agreement is one of the largest such deals in the rapidly growing podcast business. The comedian, television host, and mixed martial artist commentator has become one of the most influential and lucrative podcast hosts in recent years, especially with his popular vodcast video podcast format on YouTube. Mr. Rogan, 52 years old, had so far withheld his podcast from Spotify, saying the streaming service doesn't pay enough. And he has been generating significant revenue on their services, such as Alphabet Inc.'s YouTube. His full library, dating back 11 years, is to hit the service on September 1st and become exclusive to Spotify after that before the end of this year. His video podcast, which will also appear on Spotify, will no longer be available on YouTube.
Damn.
Spotify has spent hundreds of millions of dollars acquiring entire companies, including Gimlet Media and Bill Simmons, The Ringer, blah, 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 blah. That's crazy. You know, and Spotify, last I checked, doesn't even have video shit. So they must be like rolling out some new features just to fucking accommodate Joe Rogan here. I mean, obviously they want him bad because he draws in a huge
Rogan was making, I believe, the last time I saw listed about $30 million a year. So they basically had to come to him and just go like, look, we'll give you $100 fucking million. I mean, Rogan's so fucking big now. I've noticed he's getting a lot more criticism lately, but I mean, dude, he's such a draw that they just know with this service. Like, and they actually signed another huge podcast, Last Podcast on the Left. They signed them to an exclusive deal, I believe, last year. So they're just snapping up all the major podcasts and trying to get people to say, hey, if you want a podcast, be the it spot, it's on Spotify.
Yeah, but you know what? They still don't have the greatest podcasts in history. So, like, what idiots?
Yeah, you can get us way cheaper than Joe Rogan too.
Yeah, we'll do it for 50 mil.
Yeah, or 20, dude. We'll do it for 20. Fuck it. Why would we not do it for 20?
Let's not sell ourselves short. I can do it for fucking a measly ass
20.
Oh, okay. You don't want to upgrade the value of the fucking show on the whole by about fucking 9,000%.
Shut up, Paul. We're already making fucking $70 million a year.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, shit. Then you and I we need to have a talk.
Yeah. If we're making $70 million a year,
I think my paychecks might be missing a zero or two every month.
TJ, me and Paul are gonna come visit you. I know coronavirus or not, we need to have a talk.
Actually, it won't be me and Scotty, but there will be a gentleman with a tire iron visiting you later tonight.
Oh, I've already bought the gentleman.
Oh shit, we're fucked, dude.
I bought him with the zeros I took off your check.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah, good for Joe, I guess. You know, well, rock on. Cool.
I mean, that's crazy.
It's kind of sucks, honestly, that he's not. That whole library of shit on YouTube is just going to be gone because there really is an astonishing amount of shows.
Oh yeah, but I mean, they're all going to be on Spotify, so I mean, it's not like you're gonna like lose them or whatever. So.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it just YouTube. I envy him. He's getting to fucking hit the eject button from YouTube in a viable way.
Yeah, that's true.
That's great, dude.
Right.
How rare is that?
I've heard people speculating that maybe Spotify is going to roll out video support more broadly, and that maybe some creators will start going over there. But I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, it's all kind of dependent. I mean, if they've got Joe Rogan over there, they're tolerant of.
They're clearly trying to get more people on their platform.
Well, not only that, but it shows that they're tolerant of at least mildly edgy content.
Sure, that's true. Because Joe Rogan's definitely had his fair share of criticisms for having certain guests on and stuff.
Not only that, but just statements that he's made. He's pretty much constantly these days under fire for something he said or did.
Joe Rogan said this. Joe Rogan did that.
So if they're courting controversial figures, then look, dude, my fucking my curiosity is piqued here. Like if Spotify does roll out a podcasting service with video, it might be worth our time to check it out.
Oh yeah.
Because YouTube sucks my fucking cock and my balls all at once, but not in a good way. Not in a good, leading towards an orgasm
No, it's like
way.
a painful vacuum that it gaffles your balls and dick up, and you're like, oh, it hurts. Stop it, YouTube. And it's like,
just like a vacuum that sucks way too hard and is all dry and chafy.
Yeah, fuck
YouTube. Come on, Spotify. Be cool.
Hot nurse disciplined for wearing bra and panties under see-through PPE gown. I mean,
why?
I don't know. This naughty nurse is going viral. A nurse in Russia was suspended from the hospital where she worked in Tula, 100 miles south of Moscow, after she arrived at her shift in the all-male coronavirus patient wing with no clothing save for her skivvies under her transparent personal protective equipment. The unidentified staffer told the managers at Tula Regional Clinical Hospital she was too hot to wear clothing underneath the head-to-toe vinyl gown, which protected her from contracting COVID-19. The incident was first reported by the local news outlet, the Tula Pressa newspaper. While there's reportedly no complaints from her patients.
Damn right, there was no complaints.
Yeah, no fucking shit.
Punished the nearly nude nurse. I mean, does this really look nearly nude to you?
No.
I mean, that's whatever. I mean, that's so dumb.
She's protecting herself, dude. She's wearing full PPE.
Non-compliance with the requirements for medical clothing. The nurse claimed she did not realize her underwear was showing through the PPE. Yeah, she did. I mean, look at it.
Yes, she did. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Yeah. She knew that.
But who cares?
And nobody was harmed.
Yeah, like who was hurt by this? Why punish the nurse? You need to reward her. Seeing this outfit, no one wants to die. That's one of the patients, I guess.
Dude, that fucking patient is awesome.
At least some have a sense of humor. Okay, so the overheated healthcare worker has yet to make a public statement on the incident. However, readers of the Tula Press have plenty to say. At least someone has a sense of humor in this gloomy reality, said Sergei Radnov. So I guess these are just readers. Marina Astronaut added, "Well done. She raised the mood of the patients."
Oh, yeah. That's not the only thing she raised.
As of Wednesday, there have been approximately 309. Yeah. We don't care about that. Yeah, leave this bitch alone. The fuck's wrong with you?
In fact, make this the standard. Like all hot nurses have to be naked now underneath their PPEs.
Yeah.
To give a sense of hope and cheer to people who desperately need it.
Give these patients of coronavirus something to live for.
The people need your titties and your ass.
Hold on. Look at this guy. You know what I'm saying?
He's got his dick in his hand right now.
Yeah, he's got his hand. Yeah, he's got his hands on his dick.
This guy's like, you know what? This COVID-19 has been bad.
Look at that dude laying on the bed next to her.
He's like, is this for real? Damn.
He's like, God damn.
Hell yeah.
I may be dying of COVID-19, but that ass makes me want to live to fuck one more time.
Right. So she's giving people hope. God damn it. What's wrong with that?
Not a goddamn thing.
Hold on one second.
Hold on. You lost, TJ? TJ, you lost?
Did you guys freeze?
TJ.
No, I just noticed that my program was alerting me of some recording issues, so I just stopped recording and started again.
Did you guys freeze?
TJ, I will see you in fucking hell, dude. And that teacher records anything. It's just like a fucking clusterfuck.
Skipped frames detected, 16% over last 2 minutes.
Oh, TJ.
It's okay. Well, we're both recording.
I know.
We've given up on having TJ record the show. Scotty and I are simultaneously recording this, and one of us will
have a good
maybe
copy.
have a good copy of this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, whatever.
Maybe.
Maybe. Hopefully.
Potentially.
It's possible. All right. Trump threatens to hold up funding to Michigan, Nevada after vote by mail announcements. President Trump on Wednesday threatened to withhold money to Michigan and Nevada, 2 critical battleground states, if they forge ahead with plans to expand voting by mail options amid the coronavirus pandemic. Breaking, Michigan sends absentee ballots to 7.7 million people ahead of primaries and the general election. This was done illegally and without authorization by a rogue Secretary of State. I will ask to hold up funding to Michigan if they go down this voter fraud path. The president
bullshit.
on Twitter.
It's bullshit. If it was really illegal,
this is just voter suppression by Trump. That's all.
Yeah, if it was truly illegal, and Trump is the president, then Trump should order that rogue Secretary of State to be arrested under whatever statute of law they violated. Why would he say withhold the funding? If it's truly illegal, then shouldn't he say the Justice Department will now investigate and open an immediate investigation and have this person be arrested because they violated federal law?
Don't give him any ideas, Scotty.
No, I'm just saying, like, if it truly was illegal, wouldn't that be what would be done? I mean, but it's kind of ridiculous. So people can vote by mail. So now, what? I mean, I don't want to get it.
State of Nevada thinks they can send out illegal votes by mail, illegal vote by mail ballots, creating a greater voter fraud scenario for the state and the U.S. They can't. If they do, I think I can hold up funds to the state. Sorry, but you must not cheat in elections, the president said.
I love how the president carries out this type of like delicate politicking that needs to be done between the federal and state level governments on Twitter in front of everybody, like a fucking petulant 16-year-old girl.
Well, because he wants his cheerleaders to be like, yeah, fuck them states.
But not to mention, there's nothing illegal about doing that. And absentee ballots have been, and pretty much like, I mean, I don't know how far back it goes, but I know in my lifetime, I've never heard of an election that didn't have ballots from overseas and people that had voted early by mail. Like, so that was fine. And that wasn't rife with fraud. But now these states want to let everyone vote by mail or have the opportunity to do so. And now it's like, it's voter fraud everywhere. I mean, yeah, could someone get a ballot in the mail and fill it out and cheat? Sure, that's possible. But, I mean, provided there were safeguards put into place, it's no more unsafe than voting with a Diebold machine. You know, I mean, probably at least then there might even be some record if it's done by mail.
Yep.
And killed, then sexually violated a woman outside a homeless shelter. Cops.
This is just a sad story.
A 55-year-old man is accused of murder and necrophilia after violating a woman's corpse outside a Macon, Georgia homeless shelter, according to Bibb County cops. Kenny Oberon Whitehead was arrested after a 911 caller reported 2 people having intercourse on the front steps of Central Georgia's Daybreak Day Resource Center. Stupid name. Around 4 a.m. Sunday, police said in a press release. Cops who reportedly witnessed the one-sided sex act didn't notice one of the parties was motionless until they asked Whitehead to pull up his trousers. The sheriff's office initially reported the dead woman, whom they did not identify, had been deceased for some time and that foul play wasn't suspected. That changed Monday. Bibb County Sheriff's Office investigators have determined after further investigation that this incident is now a homicide, police said in a press release. Kenny Whitehead now has an additional charges of murder and rape added to the current charges of necrophilia.
Damn.
Details of the victim's alleged murder were not reported, though police say her family has been notified.
Man, can you imagine? So this guy goes to prison, and he's sitting there, and people are talking about, what are they in jail for? What you in for? Oh, murder and necrophilia. It's like, what?
I killed and then raped the corpse of a woman.
And then I raped
killed.
the corpse on the steps of a public building.
At least he's probably going to get left alone in there.
Yeah, all right, see ya.
Well, give that fucker a wide berth.
Well, this guy's obviously going to spend the rest of his life in prison, so.
Yeah, that's a fucked up story, man.
Yeah. Poor Lone.
Dude,
I don't know what else to say. What else do you say?
I mean, murder's really bad, but then fucking the corpse too. It's like adding insult to injury.
Here's what you
Come
say.
on.
This is what happens when a man is driven to loneliness.
And it said her family had been notified. So somewhere in the fucking United States, some poor family got a call that somebody that they cared about had their corpse raped on the front steps of a fucking homeless shelter by this dude.
I wonder if the call was very tactful, or if it was like completely tactless. Like, yeah, your daughter was murdered, and we found the murder. He was fucking a corpse right there on the steps of the home.
Well, look, we were watching it to see what happened because it's pretty normal and stuff. But then we realized your old mom there wasn't moving, and she had been fucking dead. So that's kind of bad.
You know, at first we just thought she was like, like a real cold fish, but then turned out.
Thought she was a dead lay. We didn't know. We didn't take it literally, but I mean, now it is literal.
She didn't say yes, but she didn't say no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, dude. If there is a hell, I'll see you gentlemen there.
Ho ho, hee hee, ha ha. Oh, that's some funny stuff, Paul. You think this is fucking funny, Paul?
I mean, okay, kinda, yeah.
yeah.
On some level, it's kind of funny. Yeah.
To be fair,
I mean, I'm not glad that it happened. I'm sure Paul's. Me and Paul are out there rooting for fucking necrophilia.
But it's fucking absurd. It's it's funny. It's absurd to the point of being funny to me.
Yeah, there's definitely an element.
I mean, obviously, there was a horrible act at the core of this. And,
I hope that he wore a condom.
Paul's like,
I'm trying real hard to be tactful, but
obviously it's horrible.
Dude, well, you know what it is? It's the fact that like people, they care about people in their social circle, and then outside of that, your carrying is like, yeah, you have basic human empathy, but it's an absurd story. So it's like we laugh at it because we laugh to keep from crying. We laugh to keep from crying.
September 11th convict. God, what is this fucking? All right. September 11th convict now says he renounces terrorism and bin Laden. Let this man go. Let him go.
Well, in that case, excuse us while we get you your things. And where would you like to go, sir? How can we set you up?
The only man ever convicted in a U.S. court for a role in the September 11th attacks now says he's renouncing terrorism, Al-Qaeda, and the Islamic State.
Mm-hmm.
Zacharias Moussaoui is serving a life sentence in federal prison in Colorado after narrowly escaping the death penalty in his 2006 trial. He was sometimes referred to as the missing 20th hijacker, and while he was clearly a member of Al-Qaeda, there is scant evidence to suggest he slated to hijack a plane on September 11th. Instead, prosecutors pinned responsibility on Moussaoui because they said he could have prevented the attacks if he had not lied to the FBI about his knowledge of Al-Qaeda and its efforts to attack the U.S. when he was arrested in August of 2001. In a handwritten court motion Moussaoui filed with the federal court in Alexandria last month, Moussaoui wrote, "I denounce, repudiate Osama bin Laden as a useful idiot of the CIA/Saudi. I also proclaim unequivocally my opposition to any terrorist action, attack, propaganda against the U.S."
Let him go. Let him on out of there.
Warn young Muslims against the deception and manipulation of these fake jihadis. Yeah, let this man go. Set him free.
You know what I think he probably really wants? They say he's in Colorado, but I know exactly where he is. He's in Florence, Colorado, and it's the Supermax fucking federal facility there.
Set this man free and give him a TV
show. You know what else is there? The Unabomber. Anyway, if you really fucking piss the federal government off and they don't just fucking execute you or kill you, this is where they send you. Supermax. So he's probably just hoping, like, maybe I can get a Supermax if I say all this is bullshit and bad.
Release Moussaoui right fucking nowy. Release Moussaoui right fucking nowy. Let's go.
Release Moussaoui right fucking nowy.
It works. That's
not
the one.
So and he's released. He has been released. Breaking news.
We got to not only
Moussaoui has been released due to chant of two neckbeards on the internet.
Not only do we release him, but we fucking give him a reality show on E! Entertainment, whatever, Yeah. That's what we got to do, guys. I mean, maybe you guys don't think that's what we need to do.
Oh, dude, they can have an episode where he goes to eat some like beef or something. It's like, beef. And it's like, was it halal or not? Oh, and he finds out it wasn't, dude. So then there's a big dust up.
Yeah, and he's got like a real moral conundrum on his hands, you know?
Damn, dude. Show writes itself. People in America will eat it up.
Hell yeah, they will.
And now half the time he's planning terrorist attacks. But I mean, whatever.
I think you should be planning, you should be like doing like.
But it could be a nap. Like he's like, I will bomb a mall. And of course the mall will be empty because no one goes to them anymore. And it'd be like, 3 people died when the local mall was destroyed.
We're going to demolish this thing next week anyway.
Local authorities would like to thank the terrorists that blew up the old Sunshine Mall.
F-35 stealth fighter crashes at Florida base. An F-35 stealth fighter crash landed at Eglin Air Force Base in Florida just days after an F-22 crashed at the same base. The most recent incident occurred Tuesday night when the pilot was participating in a routine night training sortie. I don't know what a sortie is. According to news releases on the crash, the pilot was able to eject and is in stable condition after being taken to the hospital for monitoring. The first accident took place on Friday when an F-22 crashed at the base's training range. The pilot safely ejected, was taken to the hospital, reported to be in stable condition. Both crashes are under investigation.
UFOs.
I'm just trying to pull up right now.
What are you trying to do?
Okay.
So how much we spent on this F-35?
Looks like on a lot of them. Okay, let's see. So the 102 F-35As, the CTOL, $89.2 million. That's including the jet engine and fee for the aircraft cost. That's per. So he potentially, I'm not sure which one it was, but anywhere from $89.2 million to $107 million per jet. And if you factor in the lifetime of the program, it's over like, I think it's like trying to see what the actual amount we've spent overall is on the program for a fucking jet that, okay, the program cost according to Wikipedia is so far program cost through 2044. Oh my God. $428.4 billion, $1,196.4 billion for operations and sustainment through 2077 and then year dollars, 2019 estimate. So over $1 trillion will be spent on jets that so far I don't think have any real combat application at this point, haven't really been used, have been nothing but a fucking quagmire. We're going to spend $1 trillion on these fucking things. Yeah, so they're talking about the one worth $90 million. They're talking about the first one I was talking about.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, so let's spend a fucking $1 trillion on these fucking jets that don't fucking work.
I think it's good.
I have a counter argument.
Go ahead, Paul.
I have a counterpoint and a counter position.
Sure.
Scotty claims that these jets are a boondoggle and that they're failing rapidly and constantly. I think that the aliens that have been watching this planet have finally seen us create an aircraft that might be able to compete with some of their fighters, and they can't allow it to happen.
So they've been sabotaging?
That's right. The F-35 is so fucking badass that the aliens actually fear it, and they don't want it to get into mass production, and so they're destroying it in midair, hoping that we will abandon the project because they're planning an invasion. And if we have a bunch of F-35s, then we win, and they know it.
Yeah, the aliens who've mastered interstellar travel are fearful of our fucking boondoggle jet.
We cannot handle this F-35. It is too badass. Look how fast and cool it is.
Even though we have mastered interstellar travel, it can obviously travel vast distances much quicker.
We can handle one or two of them, but imagine a fleet. We must stop this project. These monkeys will soon have a weapon that can challenge us. Nothing that we have is as fast and cool.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what the alien said.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, guys, just because they've mastered interstellar travel doesn't mean they can necessarily go faster, you know? Like, maybe they just learned how to bend space.
Okay, then they could bend space and be right on you and then destroy everything.
Yeah, but then when it comes to that fucking air battle, when the direct maneuverability of their ships is pitted against ours, you know?
Okay, Roland Emmerich. You know what I mean? Sure. Yeah. Welcome to Earth.
This day. Welcome to Earth, bitch.
What if the F-35 does a sweet backflip and tricks the alien into flying into the side of the canyon?
Yeah, I don't know, man. What if it does it?
Did you?
Then we send Jeff Goldblum up with a computer virus.
What if right as the alien shoots at the F-35, the F-35 does a total barrel roll, and all the shots miss, and it hits a tree that then slams into the alien?
Well, that's the most compelling argument you've made, because we know the barrel roll pretty much makes you immune to all damage.
Yes, it does.
If you fucking fire a laser at something like, and you do the barrel roll at the right time, it's like, it actually ricochets back and destroys the alien ship.
I know that's bullshit. Disney puts an end to unauthorized Club Penguin Online after it becomes a haven of explicit penguin e-sex.
Oh yeah. Penguin sex.
What is Club Penguin Online?
Oh yeah.
Club Penguin is like I'm trying to explain what it's like, a graphical chat room.
Okay.
Do you ever do Habbo Hotel?
No.
All right. It's kind of like that, as I understand it. Like you create
I've never heard of. It's kind of like something else I've never heard of.
Right. I'm sorry about that. That's why I said I was having trouble trying to describe it. It's like you create a little avatar.
Uh-huh.
And then you go into rooms where other people that have created little avatars are, but pretty much the main purpose of it is to like chat and play little games together and trade little items.
All right, I guess that makes some sense.
But it's mostly just a chat room where you chill in a virtual environment. And then people were using it to fucking meet up and go to their little, like, hey, I'm the duck. Oh, hey, I'm the panda. Well, yeah, meet me in my little flower hut and let's butt fuck each other. You know what I mean?
Okay. Disney has put the final nail in the coffin of Club Penguin Online, one of the largest unofficial fan servers for the casual multiplayer game. The server was shut down Friday following a Digital Millennium Copyright Act takedown from the Walt Disney Company earlier in the week. This follows an investigation by the BBC, which found that users of the online social network, most of whom are children and teenagers, were being exposed to explicit sexual and racist messages. One man has since been arrested on suspicion of possessing child abuse images. Child safety is a top priority for the Walt Disney Company, and we are appalled by the allegations of criminal activity and abhorrent behavior on this unauthorized website that is illegally using the Club Penguin brand and characters for its own purposes, Disney told the BBC. We continue to enforce our rights against this and other unauthorized uses of the Club Penguin game. There's some kind of pixelated shit going on.
Whoa, dude. Gangbang.
One of the first social networks specifically aimed at children, Disney's Club Penguin launched in 2005 and saw more than 200 million users at its peak. This original version of the site features content filters and human moderators to keep inappropriate messages from being shared. However, following its closure in 2017, unofficial clones of the site began to rear their head, and many of these disabled the original content filters. The BBC found that moderators were no longer removing racist content, and players were engaging in penguin e-sex, sending and receiving explicit pictures. Club Penguin Online had previously accrued over 8 million users across the course of 2 years, making it one of the biggest fan replicas of the game to appear following the closure of the original official release. The title recently experienced a surge in more than 1 million users during the coronavirus pandemic.
Fucking penguin e-sex, dude. Penguin e-sex?
I guess so.
The fuck is that?
In a since-removed blog post, Club Penguin Online confirmed it will no longer be running after May 2020 due to the copyright claim. If anyone does try to revive the game, it'll be extremely difficult now that you have to worry about Disney, and in all honesty, it isn't worth it, reads the statement.
Oh, dude, whoever started that site is going to be sued into oblivion by Disney, clearly.
The full claim, which can be viewed on the Lumen database, states the website is not blah, 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 blah. So basically, Disney had some kind of weird Club Penguin game / social media network that they were running that was heavily moderated and, all that bullshit. But they decided for whatever reason it wasn't worth running, so they closed it. And a bunch of people were like, we miss Club Penguin, so they opened some new ones, and then it was like the fucking Wild West, I guess. And people started having penguin e-sex and sending each other explicit images, and like predators found it, and all this other stuff happened. So,
dude, I want to get back on Habbo Hotel. It was just like this.
Habbo Hotel, goddammit.
It was just like this. It was back. It was like in the early 2000s. But Habbo Hotel, like you'd create your stupid little avatar, and then there was this like virtual hotel / resort area where you could go around and go to all these different places, and people would just be chilling. But I used to go into it just to like mess with people,
right?
Because like it wasn't a really well designed game, and they didn't really take trolling into account, and so like you couldn't walk through people. So there's like a one tile entrance to the pool, so you could trap people in the pool, or keep people out of the pool when all they wanted to do was just swim in their virtual little world, you know. Or you could trap people off the dance floor, like, because a lot of people like to go chill in the little club that had like music playing. But you just like if you had two dudes, which I frequently did, you could stand in the door of the club and just keep like people would gather outside and just be like, why can't we go inside? And you're just like, you know, because none of you are cool enough to come in here or whatever, you know, like you could just do whatever you want.
It's like real life. Like people, can we get in the club? No.
Yeah.
Please. No.
It was great, man. They added some, like, eventually they started fighting back against hooligans like me and added like moderators that could move you around.
Or like exactly move your character. Like you're teleported back to, you know, your house or whatever it is where you started.
But in those early days, man, Habbo Hotel was the place to go troll, man, because people would get so fucking worked up. You didn't even really have to like block them. You could just provoke arguments on Habbo Hotel so quickly and just watch people get more and more furious. And then when they tried to leave to go to their house, you block the door out, you know?
Oh, damn, dude. I like how Paul's grift in every game was just how to fucking fuck people over and mess with them.
Here's how you fucking
look. I had this game clocked in about 20 fucking minutes.
I'm telling you, dude. I love a game where you can fuck with people. And it's become
so
rare.
Now.
Yeah, it's so rare because people whine. Like, I've seen it firsthand. I know for a fact that I've reduced multiple little tweens to tears in my video game career. I just know. I've been mean. I've been heartless. I've been cruel. I've taken their property in games, and I've taken control of their fucking characters, and I've kept them from having any kind of fun at all. You know, and I guarantee you there have been multiple tears shed over just my fun in a game. But I miss it. I miss games that allowed me to be toxic as hell and take advantage of all the little exploits and shit.
Why are you so evil?
Dude, I always just love the Paul's Island schemes.
I think that's probably the last story for the plebs.
Get out of here, plebs. You're not allowed. You're not allowed on the dance floor. You're not cool enough.
Yeah,
you're not allowed on the Habbo dance floor. Only the patrons.
Blocking your entrance.
The patrons are already in there shaking their asses, getting drunk. But you know, I mean, you could be in there too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like hard to get in.
$5 cover charge.
Yeah, you just got to do it. We promise Paul won't fuck with you.
No, I can't promise that, but he won't fuck with you too hard.
Hey, we can promise it. We're just gonna break the promise. All right, so first story for the patrons. Dune director Denis Villeneuve.
Denis, how are you?
Villeneuve.
Whose name, when pronounced correctly, sounds like a lot of sneezes that I've let out.
Yeah. Spent a year perfecting the sandworm design.
Now, I gotta say, I liked the sandworm design in David Lynch's Dune, and it's become pretty iconic. Like, even a lot of the art that you see of the sandworm is very much a take on what David Lynch did above.
There has not been a truly successful adaptation of Frank Herbert's seminal sci-fi classic Dune. Directors have tried and failed to bring Herbert's dense sci-fi novel to the small screen and big screen, but ended up stumbling over the more audacious and weirder parts of the story. This is why Denis Villeneuve is working hard to get every detail right about the sandworms for his upcoming feature film adaptation. The giant deadly monsters that inhabit the planet of Arrakis are essential to the narrative of the story, even as they've been subject of many phallic comparison. So Villeneuve spent the better part of the year perfecting the design of the sandworm so that they and his Dune can be taken seriously. In a recent interview with Empire magazine, Denis Villeneuve describes the year-long process that went into designing the sandworms, the original inhabitants of the desert planet of Arrakis, the only planet in which the highly demanded psychotropic drug known as spice can be found. Here's what he said. We talked about every little detail that would make such a beast possible. from the texture of the skin to the way the mouth opens to the system to eat its food in the sand. It was a year of work to design and to find the perfect shape that looked prehistoric enough.
Oh. Well, I gotta say, this is one of the things about this Dune that I'm keen to fucking see what they do with it, because really, like, it was a sandworm that brought me into the Dune franchise.
Like, ooh.
I love a giant beast.
Eh?
I do. I love a giant beast, and the way that they're described in the book really drew me in. And then seeing them in Lynch's adaptation, I thought that, like, I still love looking at his sandworm scenes. I think he did a really good job of making these giant things. So I'm pretty keen to see what he does. I've liked a lot of the stills and shit that have been coming out about Dune recently. They all look pretty fucking good. They recently released one that really shows off the still suit, where I think it's Duncan and Paul Atreides are hanging out of an ornithopter, and they both have still suits on, and you really get a good look at the still suit, and the design looks really good. It's different than Lynch's design, but it still looks very, I don't know, it just looks really good.
I mean, everything you hear about this movie thus far, when I've seen thus far, is just a positive indication that it has a lot of potential. And I mean, this doesn't surprise me at all. Any director that's taking this project seriously knows the sandworm is going to play a huge part.
I think it's cool that they actually thought about the functionality of the creature and, like, you know, what kind of skin texture would it have?
Well,
and, like,
because over the course,
its food and all that other stuff.
Over the course of the novel, the sandworm is pretty, like, its life cycle and the way that it feeds and stuff is pretty fucking well described. And so the fact that they're actually taking the novel seriously enough to go and look at that stuff that's probably not even in the first novel, and to try and incorporate it in and make it a living, breathing thing that could exist in this world, I think that's great news. They're not just creating a big, badass-looking beast, you know?
Yeah, it's not just another, oh, look at it, it's a spectacle. They're actually taking it seriously within the context of the universe. And I mean, like, it really, I mean, Denis is really trying to, it sounds like, create a whole world and trying to do a lot of world building. And that's exactly what you need to make Dune.
I was afraid
practically come to life.
My fear when I first heard that this Dune movie was being made is that the sandworms were going to look like fucking Pacific Rim monsters or something.
Oh,
you know, just like big CGI freaks glowing from cracks in their skin and shit. I just hope that that's not the case.
Well, I can't wait to see an image of them. Or, you know, I doubt we're going to see an image before the film comes out, but I can't wait to see them in the film. And, you know, I mean, just this is a film I think is that anyone that is a fan of cinema should be. That's probably the most highly anticipated movie coming out.
All right. Ultra rare blue bees. Blue bees found in Florida. It's been years since they were last seen. Researchers in Florida have rediscovered an ultra-rare metallic blue bee that hasn't been spotted in years, so long that experts weren't sure it still existed. Florida Museum of Natural History researcher Chase Kimmel found a blue calamintha bee on March 9th, according to an emailed statement from Kimmel. It was the first time one had been spotted since 2016, the museum says. We observed a shiny little blue bee grabbing an Ash's calamint flower and rubbing its head on the top portion of the flower 2 or 3 times.
Damn, Jimmy Kimmel is an entomologist too?
Yeah. You saw that, Jimmy Kimmel?
Whoa. The blue
cool. The blue bee, man. I'm gonna see. This is a positivity story, by the way.
Show me your blue bees.
The blue bee's not gone, man. There's still a blue bee out there.
Yeah.
I got to give you guys an update too while we're talking about nature and how awesome and cute and cool it is, you know.
Yeah.
There's like a cardinal that lives out in back of my house, and he's big. Like, he's a big boy in comparison to the other cardinals we've seen. We named him Chad.
Yeah.
Because he's the Chad cardinal, right? Versus the virgin cardinal. And dude, he's having to fight off these virgin cardinals right now. Apparently cardinals are pretty fucking competitive.
Oh, right? Yeah.
And so there's always these other males coming around and trying to fuck his women, because he's got like little cardinal bitches who aren't red. You know, they're like they're pretty drab looking. They're like brown.
Yeah, they're like a brownish color. Yeah, the male cardinal is the one, kind of like the peacock. Like the male is really the one that has the visual display.
But dude, Chad the cardinal, I got to tell you, dude, man, that it's better than watching a lot of stupid fucking shows on TV. Sometimes watching what he gets up to back there. That fucking
North
guy.
American. Okay.
There's like a cat that somebody, you know, like I know it lives indoors, but some people just let their cats kind of roam the property at night or whatever, or during the day. You'll see one prowling around. And dude, if there's one out in back of my place, Chad is on the fucking case, dude. Chad is all up in the tree chirping at that motherfucker, like yelling at him over and like yelling at that cat, like, I see you, motherfucker. Hey, cat, go away, go away. You know, but he's just like, rip, 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 rip. His crest all fucking up and his chest all puffed out and shit. He doesn't take no shit from nobody. Chad does not fuck around, dude. But yeah, I was watching him today before the show, chasing off a rival. Some lesser cardinal, some tiny little fucking weak, puny ass bitch made beta male cardinal.
Yeah.
Thought he was gonna come over and fuck one of Chad's bitches, and it was just not gonna happen. Dude, I love nature. Nature's so much better than anything that we do. You know what? Let's just dismantle all of this and return back to the forest, gentlemen. What do you say?
No thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I figured.
Yeah, I don't think we'd really make it that long, Paul.
Corona.
I think we'd be dead.
Florida scientist was fired for refusing to manipulate COVID-19 data.
Why are you talking like this, TJ?
I don't know, Scotty. This is how we talk now. Ha ha ha.
Oh,
Florida scientist was fired for refusing to manipulate COVID-19 data.
Why did she?
Rebecca Jones is the architect of
manipulate
COVID-19 dashboard.
The data.
Dashboard has been the one-stop shop for researchers, the media, and the public to access and download tables of COVID-19 cases, testing, and death data to analyze freely. The scientist who created Florida's COVID-19 data portal wasn't just removed from her position on May 5th. She was fired on Monday by the Department of Health, she said, for refusing to manipulate data. Rebecca Jones said in an email to Florida Today that she single-handedly created 2 applications in 2 languages, 4 dashboards, 6 unique maps with layers of data functionality for 32 variables covering 500,000 lines of data. Her objective was to create a way for Floridians and researchers to see what the COVID-19 situation was in real time. Then she was dismissed. I worked on it alone, 16 hours a day for 2 months, most of which I was never paid for. And now that this has happened, I'll probably never get paid for. She wrote in an email confirming that she had just been reassigned on May 5th. But
she had not just been
reassigned on May 5th, but fired from her job as Geographic Information Systems Manager for the Florida Department of Health. After Florida Today first reported Jones removed from her position in charge of Florida COVID-19 database surveillance and dashboard, she confirmed, as reported by CBS 12 in West Palm Beach, that she was fired because she was ordered to censor some data but refused to manually change data to drum up support for a plan to reopen. She provided no further details. In an email last Friday to researchers and other data users, Jones warns that with her removal, changes were likely coming to the accessibility and transparency of the dashboard data. They're making a lot of changes. I would advise being diligent in your respective uses of this data, she wrote. Researchers who saw the email reacted with shock and dismay, suggesting it could be evidence that Governor Ron DeSantis' government was censoring information to support the case for reopening Florida. Lucky Tran, a biologist and public health communicator at Columbia University on Twitter, reacted to the news in a series of tweets. When politicians censor scientists and manipulate the numbers, the rest of us suffer, he wrote. No shit.
It doesn't sound like that would be how Lucky Tran spoke. You know,
TJ. Oh yeah, how would Lucky Tran speak?
I mean, I'm not the one doing the reading.
I'm curious. I'm just curious because you said that.
Craft to me, Lucky Trans.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd sound like a Russian guy, TJ. Come on.
Oh yeah, deep Russian accent, huh? That's what you were thinking, huh?
Yeah. This is not surprising, and in fact, I can almost guarantee that this has happened, or this types of data has been manipulated in other states too to drum up support for early reopening.
I heard about this happening in Georgia as well, like misleading graphs and charts, changing the chronological order of the cases to make the graphs super confusing to people. Of course, then when they got called out and it was a mistake if it wasn't meant to be done that way. But we all know the truth is they just want to make it look like, oh, it's going down. It's going down. We have to reopen because everything's going down. It's looking good. You know, and then clearly they come to her and they go, yeah, this is too accurate.
Turns out the data's a little bit more dismal than we want it to be. So can you kind of take a 0 off of a couple of those statistics?
We want to reopen quick. Change the data. Change it.
She's like, no. And they're like, then you're fired.
Yeah. Oh, you won't lie for the government? Then get out of here.
You want to endanger people by forcing them to come out of quarantine early? Well, you're fired, bitch. Get out of here.
How many people who were in the same sort of basic position as her were asked to do it and were just like, oh, God, well, I guess I will.
I can almost guarantee you most of them were. Because you know how it was brought to them. It was brought to them as this is the right thing to do.
Look, we got to do this for the good.
Look, like sometimes having access to the actual raw data can create an inflated sense of fear in the populace, and we really want to tamp that down by just giving them the cold, hard numbers. Most of the people doing this job are just like, okay, where do you want me to put the new numbers at, and what should I do with the old ones? Throw them away? Okay, you got it.
That's why I have espoused the belief in just worshiping capitalism, and TJ created our deity, Economos. And so instead of when this scientist goes like, well, why should we do it? Economos commands you do this.
Economos was displeased with the information you were making available to the people. It was hurting the strings of the infinite invisible hand of the economy. And so the woman, the meddler doing this work, was cast out in the name of Economos.
May her stocks wither. May she suffer.
Deadly attack at Toronto erotic spa. Ooh, was incel terrorism, police allege.
Damn incels, dude.
Fucking stupid incels. A deadly attack at a Toronto erotic massage parlor 3 months ago is now being treated as an act of terrorism after police allegedly uncovered evidence it was inspired by misogynist incel ideology. Charges against the suspect accused of carrying out the February 24th stabbing attack, which killed a woman and injured another, were updated in court on Tuesday to murder/terrorist activity. The suspect, who cannot be named because he is a minor, was also charged with terrorism for the alleged attempted murder. Like, man,
how does a minor even know he's an incel?
Like, yeah, I mean, like, you haven't even fucking been a virgin loser long enough to know that you're a virgin loser at that point.
Yeah, at least like the 35-year-old incels, like there's something more to that. It's like, damn, I've like lived a lot of my adult life and failed. Like,
that's what I don't understand about a lot of these incels.
I still haven't got laid. Guess I better kill some people. Hope he's getting laid in prison,
It's just like, Jesus Christ, man. Do you know how many people would have been killing people back in my day if, like, getting laid by 15 or else was the fucking, you know what I mean?
School shooting a week, He was already facing first-degree murder and attempted murder charges, but the development means police believe the incident was terrorism-related. In a joint statement, the RCMP and Toronto Police Service said their investigation had determined the attack was inspired by the ideologically motivated violent extremist IMVE movement, commonly known as incel. As a result, federal and provincial attorney generals have consented to commence terrorism proceedings, alleging that the murder was terrorist activity and the attempted murder was terrorist activity. Experts said it was the first time a terrorism charge had been laid over violence tied to incels, a term that refers to self-described involuntary celibates. It is also believed to be the first time Canada's anti-terrorism laws have been used to prosecute an act of violence by a suspect who was not an Islamist.
So basically, the incels all have a new guy to worship now.
Yeah. These are new heroes. That's probably the real reason.
Yeah, that's the reason this shit's not been released. Yeah, clearly.
They can't go like, Joe Smith or whatever the fuck. His name's probably not Joe Smith. But, like whatever. They can't fuck it. They can't, he's the new hero of our movement. He stabbed that stupid bitch.
There was a lesser one. Elliot Rogers is the big one. There's another dude in Canada that killed some people too. I don't remember his name. And fuck, his name's not worth even remembering. And then, of course, this one, I guarantee on the incel message boards, like, I don't know who he is, but he's a hero. They're fucking saying that shit right now.
He's the greatest man in history.
Say what you want about Elliot Rogers. He had it figured out, fellas. But this kid knew what was up. A young person who already knew that he would be denied pussy because he was ugly or awkward or silly looking or had a speech impediment.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's just like, meanwhile, there are dudes that have all that shit dipping their balls in it right now as I speak. You know what I mean? So get over it.
Nah, it's time to kill some people.
Women are capable of this thing, and it's fucking crazy. They can look at a total mess of a man and just be totally in love with it. I know that for a fact because I've been the recipient of that love multiple times in my life.
I just have a succinct message for the incels out there that are suffering.
Man, you're so fucking.
That was eloquent, Scotty.
Yeah,
I like
man. You're so sensitive, Scotty. You're so fucking empathetic. You always know what to say.
I fucking I fucking dived in balls deep to the incel community, and like, if I've never seen a bigger pity party in all of my fucking life. Now, look, were there guys that I saw during that research that like I was like, I can understand why they're not getting laid just from like just the way they look. I could actually empathize with some of them, but there were guys that for the most part looked pretty fucking normal. Just like had never really approached women or had these ridiculous expectations or standards. Like, if I can't date a supermodel who's rich, who's going to do everything for me and just fawn over me all day, there's no point having a relationship. A lot of them were like that. They're not reasonable people for the most part. Are there some sad? Oh, good.
No matter how long I wait here in my dingy basement room in my parents' house with my cum-stained sweatpants on, a hot woman that meets my standards never shows up to blow me and let me fuck her. No matter how hard I try to wish for her to do so, she never shows.
Yeah, like what the fuck's up with that, huh?
Involuntary celibacy, because that's how it works out for everybody, right? You're just sitting around in your cum-stained shorts, and a broad walks in and is like, "Can I suck that dick for you?" And you're like, "Hell yes, come on."
Well, duh, baby. I mean, look at me and TJ. We both have gotten laid. Look at Paul. I mean, he's a fucking Adam Sandler clone.
I think
that's
Paul
like
might have gotten laid a couple times.
Yeah, like, a couple of times I have, dude.
I mean, look at Paul. He's freaking bluish. He has like this bluish tint to him, and he's like stationary, and he still gets laid. Come on, incels, do a better job.
Come on, incels. Poor incels. Nearly 200 people arrested, 2 shot during Go Topless Jeep weekend.
Just in case anyone's wondering, they just mean take the top off the Jeep. They're not talking about actually going topless.
Oh,
that you ruined it. I wanted to talk about how cool it was to sit and speculate about just titties flapping in the wind out of every Jeep. You know,
I'm sorry.
And I was gonna go on this patriotic rant about how cool Texas was, and then
Okay.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. They're talking about taking the rag top off of your Jeep and drive around and wave at people.
Right. Well, who cares then?
Yeah, fuck Texas.
Norma McCorvey, Jane Roe of Roe v. Wade, changed abortion stance for money. Deathbed documentary reveals.
Did it all for the money, huh?
Dude, even Roe turned against Roe v. Wade, dude. How does Wade feel about it these days?
When Norma McCorvey, the anonymous plaintiff in the landmark Roe v. Wade case, came out against abortion in 1995, it stunned the world and represented a huge symbolic victory for abortion opponents. Jane Roe had gone to the other side. For the remainder of her life, McCorvey worked to overturn the law that bore her name, but it was all a lie. McCorvey says in a documentary filmed in the months before her death in 2017, claiming she only did it because she was paid by anti-abortion groups, including Operation Rescue. I was the big fish. I think it was a mutual thing. I took their money and they'd put me out in front of the cameras and tell me that's what I'd say. She said in AKA Jane Roe, which premieres Friday on FX. It was all an act. I did it too well. I am a good actress. In what she describes as a deathbed confession of visibly ailing, McCorvey restates her support for reproductive rights in colorful terms. Yeah, well, I mean, fuck this bitch, whatever. If a young woman wants to have an abortion, that's no skin off my ass. That's why they call it a choice.
Basically, she just became a con artist for the remainder of her life. She was offered money.
And the rest of You know, like I'm too old to even need an abortion again. So yeah, I guess I'll fucking become anti-abortion for fucking day.
You know what, though, TJ?
I worked as a powerful symbol to try and fight against abortion rights for my entire life, basically. But here at the end, I'll just tell you that was all. I was just a shill, and I'm actually pro-abortion.
But TJ, you know your plan to convert to Christianity? That could totally work now. We see it, dude. They'll just pay you. Like, you'll say, like, look, I'm still an atheist. I don't believe in any of this shit, but I'll take your money and I'll go to churches and go give a speech about how, like, I came to Jesus.
Landmark Supreme Court case. Like, I need to, like, get God off the money or something.
Yeah, dude.
And then, like, wait, like, 5 years and then be like, I have changed my mind.
Put God back on the money right now.
Oh, dude, you would rake in money.
Oh, yeah, just take money from the Christian groups, like, God back in the money. I was wrong. Even I don't believe in this shit no more. We got to change it back.
Put the money back.
Pay me.
It's a pretty good grift. And
at least no one's reproductive rights are fucking, like, hanging in the fucking balance with that one. It's just some
stupid, yeah.
I'm mad about it.
Yeah, who even looks at the fucking money, dude? Like, it's stupid to have it on the money, but I don't like get $20 and go like, oh man, look at it right here. So you're right, dude.
That's cash even really gonna be around though too.
Oh yeah, we're fast, removing cash from society.
Dude, I think a bunch of Christians should get together and be like, we should put "In God We Trust" on the credit cards, since we don't use money no more.
Oh yeah, dude.
We need to start we need a federal law that says we got to put "In God We Trust" on all forms of currency, including credit cards.
If you really want to blow their minds and force them to have a fucking existential crisis, say, I'm all for putting "In God We Trust" on our implants that replace all physical forms of money.
There you go.
Yeah, on the chip, dude. Look, you can put
what
a
if it
chip in your
says,
hand.
what if the mark of the beast has "In God We Trust" printed on it?
Oh yeah, that'd be beautiful.
But like, which way would they go? Would they argue against trusting in God, or would they accept the mark of the beast?
You gotta love the fucking 3 shills there. Can you go back for a second, TJ, before you play this?
Yeah, hold on.
Dude, I just love it. So these two people, she's in the middle here. See next, I don't know who the fuck they are, but they're both stunningly full of shit. They know she's a paid shill and just like, yep, let's sit there with it. Like, we're fighting the good fight. I mean, like, it just shows you the total hypocrisy, not only of that, but of the people involved in it too. Like, we focused on her, but what about the people that knew that the only reason she was a part of March for Life or these other organizations is that she was a fucking paid shill?
They don't care. What do they give a shit? I
get that's about advancing their position, but I'm just saying.
Roe supports us now, you know?
Well,
yeah, I mean, this is bullshit.
I just don't think they should get a pass either, is what I'm saying.
Oh, everyone already knows they're pieces of shit. So I don't know how well it's going to play, but this is a Force of Nature trailer. This is Mel Gibson's new movie.
Hell yeah, Mel's back, baby. And he's more racist than ever.
We're evacuating the building.
Oh, thank God. I need your help.
I'm staying here. I'm not leaving.
It's a Category 5 hurricane going on outside. You forgot about that?
Think it's a 5 already?
There is a storm right now, 160 miles per hour.
To perhaps devastate Puerto Rico.
Your dad doesn't want to leave. I can't force him.
Help me get him out of this building.
Policía, take it easy. Take it easy.
Let's go. Let's go. Come here.
Watch it, sweetheart. Where are they? He's part of a crew at this high-end heist job. I got a buddy downtown. He's been chasing these clowns for a month. I have a cop, too.
What do you think these guys want?
I might have a pretty good idea. $55 million. It's here in this building.
That's blood money.
If we're gonna stand any kind of chance, we need all the firepower we can get. Stand trapped. We'll go floor by floor until we find them.
They're gonna hunt us down.
the eye of the storm. If you're trying to make an impression, now's the time.
When it rains, it pours.
I'll shoot you in the head. I'm not going out that way. Remember, shoot to kill, kid.
Whoa. What's the real force of nature?
Dude, okay, so I'm predicting this is one of those movies. Mel Gibson is in this. But he has
Mel Gibson.
He's in this, but he has third billing. I bet you Mel Gibson's in like 10 or 15 minutes of this. What do you guys think about that?
What the hell? Stop. Stop it.
Yeah, I definitely don't think he's going to be as central as they're trying to make him if he's third billed on this.
What the hell?
But I don't know. I mean, maybe it'll be a competent, stupid little. Look, I'm not against a turn your brain off action spectacle type of adventure movie or whatever the fuck.
Neither am I. I mean, like I love the 80s action films, which are basically those like Commando, Predator. I mean, those are movies that, you know, there's not really much to follow. It's just like, we're going to kill shit. We're going to shoot a lot of guns and it's a bunch of tough dudes. You know, that's it. And they're fucking being hunted by some creature, or they have to fucking, you know, fight a fucking army single-handedly. Like, yeah, I'm definitely down for those movies.
I do struggle though with just Mel Gibson, I think, in general nowadays. Like, I can still watch his older stuff and appreciate it, but that's because I can remember how I used to look at Mel Gibson before I realized that he was a crazy, drunk, racist, you know, piece of shit, wife abuser.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of done a lot of bad shit where it's like, look, I can separate the art from the artist, but if Mel Gibson had gone to some high art thing and he was doing like, he was making movies where like, wow, these are really thought-provoking films, or wow, these are like some of the best action movies you can imagine, then you'd be like, yeah, he's
I mean, it just doesn't
shit,
sound like he's doing anything off the charts great with this movie. Oh, yeah,
No.
I had to deal with these guys down in Mexico. He sounds just like he does, by the way, when he's yelling at his wife and those tapes that got leaked on BuzzFeed all way back or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, dude.
It's like, you should fucking blow me, you bitch. You remember those? Those were great.
Man, human thumb.
Yeah, man who called coronavirus fake crisis gets infected.
Dude, you gotta play this video. I know we hate videos, but oh my god, we've got to play this. Let's just shut up.
Oh.
Oops.
That's bullshit anyways.
Yeah, it's just one of these fucking text videos. Fuck them.
Yeah, it's just
his fucking Facebook screed, the human thumb Facebook screed.
Let's just read. I mean, like, we're gonna read. We might as well just read. A Florida man who initially believed the coronavirus was a fake crisis that was blown out of all proportion is now hospitalized along with his wife and is sounding a cautionary note about the deadly bug. I thought it was maybe the government trying something and was kind of like they threw it out there to kind of distract us. Okay. I get up every morning and pray and trust in God for his protection, and I just leave it at that.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I have to, you missed the critical part of that. Ryan Hitchens told WPTV from his hospital bed.
Well, yeah, we already knew he was in the hospital.
No, but I just like that to be pointed out. This guy says this is all fake, and he's saying that he's being interviewed by these people from his fucking hospital bed after fucking having battled the COVID-19 virus.
Yeah. I'd get up in the morning and pray and trust in God for his protection, and I'd just leave it at that. There was all these masks and gloves. I thought it looked like hysteria, he added. An Uber driver described his ordeal in a lengthy Facebook post. Many people still think coronavirus is a fake crisis, which at one time I did too. And not that I thought it wasn't a real virus going around, but at one time I felt it was blown out of proportion and it wasn't that serious. Hitchens said he continued downplaying the pandemic until he began to feel sick and stopped working. A couple days later, his wife also began feeling unwell. So he went to the hospital and was told to go under quarantine. But when the couple's conditions worsened, Hitchens wrote, they went to Palm Beach Gardens Medical Center. They admitted us right away, and we both went to ICU. I started feeling better within a few days, but my wife got worse to the point where they sedated her and put her on a ventilator. I was never put on a ventilator and started feeling stronger. Never had terrible aches and pains, just weak and exhausted, Hitchens said, adding that his wife remained sedated. After 3 weeks, I have come to accept that my wife may pass away, and the peace I have about it is that I know without a shadow of a doubt she'll be going home to the Lord. But I also do believe in miracles, and I'm holding on to the chance that she may get healed. But if not, I am thankful for her. I know we've been married for 8 years, he said. He added, so think about what I wrote and think about if this thing is a fake crisis. Looking back, I should have wore a mask in the beginning, but I didn't. And perhaps I'm paying the price for it now. Sounds more like your wife's paying the price for it now.
Yeah, it sounds like you're trying to capitalize on the price that your wife paid for your stupid fucking opinion that all of this was bullshit and your reckless behavior in public.
Brothers and sisters, I am a fucking moron.
Now listen, I had a stupid idea that directly led to the death of my wife, but I know that the Lord forgives me. It's like, get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit. If you know what, if the Lord forgives you, then he's no Lord I'd ever want to worship.
Now, just another story about someone that recklessly fucking just takes everyone's life around them, like, oh, who cares? And
I'm trying to learn that he's religious, though. That's what I'm.
But he's obese too. He's obese. More likely, he's married to his wife is probably obese. I don't want to say I don't know what she looks like. People who are very susceptible, they probably had pre-existing health conditions like hypertension, possibly diabetes.
And you know what the great thing about it too is? How many people did him and his stupid fucking wife, with their stupid opinion that all this was fake, how many people did they infect with the virus before they had to go to the fucking hospital in that 14-day incubation period where they were fucking infectious but not showing any signs?
And this guy was
just
an Uber
recklessly
driver.
driving all over everything, sneezing all over everything. Walking into public places that people are trying to be careful in.
He's worse.
Driver, so.
He's worse than most. He was a fucking Uber driver, so he was encountering tons of people.
So he probably so who knows how many lives this dude's recklessness is taking. His wife is literally on her deathbed from this, and he's already trying to get out in front of any blame he might have for being a stupid fucking vector of infection during a time where he was clearly told what to do.
And the Lord done did, yeah, like,
it turns out 10 years.
All back on this Lord shit, but
it turns out 10 years down the road, they found that 25,000 souls were infected by my ridiculous act, but I know that the Lord done forgave me for that. Like, fuck you.
Good Lord.
Well, it's good that someone forgives you because we don't.
Yeah.
I do.
See how much his forgiveness is worth down here in the real world.
Louisiana House approves medical marijuana for any debilitating condition, along with delivery service.
Hey,
hell yeah,
good
dude.
job, Louisiana. Well, that's a step in the right direction. But
the Louisiana House of Representatives overwhelmingly approved bills on Friday to significantly expand the state's medical cannabis program by bringing in patients with more conditions and allowing dispensaries to deliver marijuana products directly to those patients' homes.
Fuck yeah, man.
I have some. Let's see. What do I need to? What problems do I need to have? This comes about a week after the health and blah blah blah. Yeah,
no, it's actually great, dude.
Tell me the symptoms I need to.
The expansion legislation, as originally drafted, would have simply added traumatic brain injuries and concussions to the list of conditions that qualify a patient for marijuana recommendation. But it was amended, and this is a great amendment, in committee to add several other conditions, as well as language stipulating that cannabis can be recommended for any condition that a physician, quotes, considers debilitating to an individual patient.
Yeah, that's broad language.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
So
dude.
let me tell you what that means. In California, before it went recreational, me getting my medical marijuana card was the biggest joke that I've ever gone through. I went into this doctor's office that was literally called like 420 Clinic or some shit.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not even fucking joking.
The 420 doctor. Dude, I want to go to that doctor.
And there was a doctor in there, like, you walk in and you sign in or whatever, and then they go in the back, and the doctor literally tells you what to say. He's like, look, in order for you to get your marijuana card, you have to have 3 conditions. You really only have to have 1 or 2, but if you have 3, it really makes the paperwork easy for me because it's an easy recommendation for you. So what I'm going to want to hear from you is, you got back problems, you got psychological problems, you've got a foot injury, whatever it is, anything that you want that causes you pain on a day-to-day basis, you got to come up with 3 of those. And I was like, oh, well, that's easy.
Yeah, my back, legs, hands, whatever.
Yeah. my fucking everything hurts. Give me it,
my everything.
Pick any 3 body parts, Doc. That's where I'm at.
And that was literally it. They printed out this chintzy little laminated card for me right there in the office that apparently that was my license to trade in marijuana in the state of California.
Cool.
And it cost me like $100 or something. You know what I mean? It was just a total fucking... And that's what this is going to lead to. I mean, it won't be that way immediately in Louisiana because a lot of eyes will be on it, but slowly but surely, the list, like doctors are going to realize, like, wait a minute, I can make a living setting up like a medical marijuana recommendation clinic and just writing these fucking things for people. It won't be long.
Hell yeah. Bane movie masks selling out during coronavirus pandemic. Yeah.
Wow, they're choosing to like use the Bane mask instead of the.
You're jealous, Paul.
Bane masks are selling out amidst the coronavirus pandemic. I mean, like this, we don't really need to read it, do we? I mean, we know why. I mean, like people are like, yeah, I need some kind of face mask. Ooh, wouldn't it be cool if I dressed up like Bane?
You're a bitch, TJ.
You fear the coronavirus, TJ. You fear it, but I was born in the coronavirus, TJ.
Oh,
that's right.
Right.
That's
You're
right,
a sack of
TJ.
shit, TJ. We shall beat the shit out of you.
Those who talk shit get smacked the fuck up, TJ.
Should I break out my bad Bane impression too? I guess.
Yes, of course you should, dude.
You give it a try,
TJ. You have
TJ.
a total opportunity to do a bad Bane impression.
I know, seriously.
Duh.
Yes.
My name is TJ. I'm a fat tub of shit.
Infected from the coronavirus.
I wonder what's going to break first, TJ. Your spit or your body?
Justice Department tells California to reopen churches. The U.S. Department of Justice warned Governor Gavin Newsom on Tuesday that California must do more to accommodate in-person religious gatherings. A letter from federal attorneys pointed to civil rights concerns around California's stay-at-home order, which since March has prohibited the faithful from assembling at houses of worship. The Department of Justice noted that religious services are barred even as sectors of the economy deemed essential have been allowed to remain.
Because they're not essential. A church is not essential to the function of a community. I mean, if they're doing some charitable work that's deemed essential, like as far as like feeding people or something, then sure. But having large gatherings that serve no purpose besides veneration of the Lord, you can do that at home. Do you have a Bible? Go and read that. You want to worship God? You can do it at your house. There's no requirement for you to gather in a church. It doesn't make a difference. If you still believe that, is your belief going to change because you're not gathered around in a big fucking social circle, pat each other on the back about how great you are? We're good. We're doing good.
We doing good. All right. Let me see how many fucking things we got here. Got a few more.
Yeah. Always in a hurry, huh, TJ?
Yep.
Always in a fucking hurry. I'm looking right here today. Hour and 47 minutes, dude.
Yeah.
Not even been 2 hours yet. Where you going, TJ?
Checking how many we got
TJ,
left.
TJ, where you going? Where you going, TJ? Where you going? Where you going, TJ?
Full screen.
TJ, where you going? TJ, where you going?
There we go.
Where you going, TJ?
The end of plastic. New plant-based bottles will degrade in a year. Well, problem solved, y'all.
Yeah, Paul. Checkmate. Environment under siege. Bam, bitch. All plant bottles here. We're good.
Who knew?
We're good.
I take it all back. I take it all back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna vote for Biden now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do the I'm gonna do the lesser of two evils vote now because I didn't know plastic had been solved.
Yeah, it's been solved.
And like we solved. It's done. Beer and soft drinks could soon be sipped from all plant bottles under new plans to turn sustainably grown crops into plastic in partnership with major beverage makers. A biochemicals company in the Netherlands hopes to kickstart investment in a pioneering project that hopes to make plastic from. I noticed a lot of hopes and plans going on.
I'm sorry. Oh, I was thinking about this plan. Oh God!
We hope to plan to invest in the beginning of the phasing in of the start of. Yes, like
Not gonna fucking happen. This just in. This is not happening. It's a fucking dream, dude. We hear about this shit all the time. Are there alternatives? Probably so. Are they going to be adopted? Well, manufacturing the bottle this way costs 3/4 of a penny. What if we do it this new plant-based way? The cost will go up to 3 cents. No. Done.
Got a plant-based bottle. No, the bottle's slightly stickier to the touch. I don't like it. Bring back the old bottle. But this one biodegrades in a year.
And I mean, they don't even have a prototype of it.
Yeah.
They're planning to possibly invest some time into maybe making it.
Shut the fuck up, Paul. Listen. There's a biomedical company, a biochemical company in the Netherlands that's hoping to kickstart an investment that potentially plastics from plant sugars rather than fossil fuels. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's practically a certainty. You might as well be holding one in your hands right fucking now, Paul.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm saying to you, Paul? You know what I'm saying to you?
Paul,
I do.
Paul, actually, what's in your hand right now? You know what it is? A plant-based bottle that's going to biodegrade in a year.
Damn.
You're done, Paul.
That's good shit,
Dick is up. Dude, Paul's done. Paul might as well retire, dude, because this company has come out with this fucking product, or potentially could come out with this product, and potentially could then sell it to the market if they adopt it and decide to do it.
I'm comfortable saying that it's already on the market. Like, it's as good as there. It might not be there technically in a technical sense right this moment, but it's as good as done, Scotty. It's as good as done.
I for one am convinced.
How long should we keep bribing people not to work?
Yeah, TJ, how long should we keep doing this?
Enough of this bullshit. It's from the National Review.
A very liberal newspaper. If there ever was one.
Extremely left-wing. 3 Republican senators raised an alarm in late March. Congress's multi-trillion-dollar coronavirus bill would boost the unemployment benefits by $600 a week. Such a large amount of money that people would make more money if they were laid off than they would if they continued working. It turned out there was an embarrassing backstory behind these provisions. States administer unemployment benefits using antiquated computer systems, and they couldn't process a new benefit formula that was even mildly complicated. If lawmakers wanted to hike unemployment benefits during the worst part of the crisis, a time when government policy was deliberately idling much of the workforce, they had to pick a flat amount to add to the existing benefits, and $600 was chosen because it would make the average unemployment benefit equal to the average wage. Sometimes the best of a bad situation in this solution.
Well, TJ, I want to talk about some first. Let's consider this. So they just said it. So the Republicans, they always want to underfund the government, investment in government and technology. The computer system is so antiquated, probably because it's running on shit from the 50s or 60s.
Yeah, and probably because they won't fucking fund new computers or anything.
Yeah, they won't fund new computer systems. Like, they were forced by the fact that they don't give a shit about those things to have to add a flat amount. So it's their own fault, because if they actually would have been able to add an actual formula and calculate it based on something, then the concern they had would have been alleviated. But because they're relying on fucking technology from 50 years ago, they had to pick a flat amount. So it sounds like a problem of their own creation.
Blah 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 blah. This is a terrible idea. Oh, they're saying the Democrats want to extend the end of the year through the end of the year, and the Republicans need to do something about it, according to this piece of shit paper.
Here it is.
As the new paper from Sorry, what?
Yeah. So here's really the crux of it. People who get laid off usually get a raise. In other words, while those who keep working in essential jobs don't. So it's basically saying, look, some people are getting paid to stay at home. This is horrible. Why should these people should be risking certain death?
How are we
going to be doing whatever they need to do? Go out there. I mean, obviously, it's hyperbole. I don't think you're risking certain death by doing it. But at the same time, the article is just, to me, the reason I wanted to pull it was like, what about the people that have actually legitimately lost their jobs? They shouldn't be getting this money. They're being bribed not to work.
As a new paper from 3 columnists at the University of Chicago demonstrates, the $600 boost fails to help workers in equitable fashion and creates terrible incentives. It would be a poor fit for our coming circumstances in which states are reopening and the economy should gradually improve. If, in this next phase, we want to keep the unemployment system a bit more generous than it usually is, we'll either make the boost smaller or force states to implement a formula that actually makes sense. The list of problems the paper uncovers is staggering. The $600 benefit makes unemployment insurance more remunerative than work for 2/3 of eligible workers. Well, maybe we should raise fucking wages in this country then, when such a piddling little amount is like more than 2/3 of workers make.
You know what it is the government has to spend more helping people. They were forced to pick a number that made sense. And because so many people who are fucking unemployed now, because it disproportionately affected people who are very poor, because they're actually making more money. It's like, oh, look, they're dependent on the government now. No, they have to be dependent on that job. We need our It's basically saying we need our slaves back. So this is a bad idea. So this needs to be done away with. So the slaves will be forced to come back to their master.
Yeah, we can't line our pockets with your labor while you're sitting at home protecting yourself from this potentially deadly outbreak. So we're going to need you to get back into that Walmart, little missy. I don't care if you're pregnant or not. Get back into that Walmart. And
as long as she's getting that $600 extra a month, it's hard to get her back into the damn Walmart.
And you know what? Since you've been sassy, I want you to shake every hand that comes in that door. No gloves. No gloves, missy.
I want you to lick them. I want you to lick their toenails.
And take a deep breath.
Eyeballs.
Every time someone walks in, just do this.
I want them to open their mouth. Open your fucking mouth. And then they open their mouths, and then you French kiss, but instead of a kiss, they just cough right down your throat.
Come on. Sam Walton needs a new yacht. Come on. That yacht is not going to materialize on its own.
Sam Walton is long.
long dead.
Well, whatever. Which Walton is in?
The Walton family.
Whatever. There's the family in general.
Isn't there a Sam Jr.?
Maybe.
I don't think it was Sam Jr., but there was.
There is, but I guess there could be.
He had like I think 3 or 4 children, and they all split the fortune.
By the way, I don't believe that for a second. Sam Walton is not dead. That old fucking bastard is sitting on some cyber yacht out in the middle of the fucking Indian Ocean somewhere, laughing at us all.
They think I am dead, but I had my brain transferred into a robot body. Blah, 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 blah.
Now my life is truly naught but pleasure. Blah, 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 pleasure at their expense. Blah, 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 blah.
A man who wore a watermelon on his head while stealing from a convenience store has been arrested.
How did they, dude, if I was this guy, I would be like, that ain't me.
Yeah. A pair of melon heads, yes, actual people with watermelons on their heads, caused quite a stir after they used watermelons as face masks to allegedly steal from a convenience store in a small Virginia town.
Allegedly.
The duo pulled up in a lifted 2006 black Toyota Tacoma pickup truck and entered a sheet store in Louisa on May 5th while wearing carved-out watermelons with holes for eyes, according to the Louisa Police Department. One of the 2 suspects was arrested Friday. Police Chief Tom Leary confirmed to CNN. Police are still looking for the second suspect. The 20-year-old suspect who was arrested has been charged with wearing a mask in public while committing larceny, underage possession of alcohol, and petite larceny of alcohol, police said. This is definitely not something you see very often in Louisa. What do you mean it's not? Not something you see very often? Like this has happened before?
Yeah,
like,
everyone. Well, you know,
every few years you might get a watermelon-headed bandit, but
yeah, a couple years back, someone tried to use a melon on their head, but they was caught again. So
we're a really nice, quiet town with a lot of hardworking people. Something like this is pretty unusual. Candace Went, a Sheetz customer, told CNN affiliate WRIC she thought using melons as face masks is ridiculous. Wow.
Obviously. I mean,
I love how they fucking made sure to tell us her credentials as like she's a Sheetz customer.
And I was in there.
Affiliate WRIC that thought that using melons as face masks is ridiculous. And then she goes on to say, I guess, the amount of work that you have to do actually to hollow out a watermelon to stick to your head, I think is kind of crazy. She said, why? Why would they do that? It's so stupid. I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe it's a real good question.
Yeah. Why? I mean, it's ridiculous, man. It's fucking, why would they do that?
I mean, so these guys honestly thought they're doing this. Obviously not taking no care to actually disguise the vehicle they planned to commit this robbery in. They went through the trouble of fucking hollowing out these fucking watermelons, robbing the store while not at any point trying to conceal the make, model, or license plate number of their vehicle.
Now, the question that I have that's really, racking my brain over here is, did they eat the delicious contents of those watermelons?
Or fuck yeah. Come on, dude.
I am 100% sure that at least some of the watermelon they scooped out was eaten.
Yeah, I would hope so, but something tells me that fact may not even come up at trial.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly pertinent. I love that the other suspect is like still at large. Like, tell us who was your accomplice.
Listen, I ain't dropping the dime on Melonhead, okay? Now listen, you got me. I admit to do it. I did it. But if you think I'm gonna rat on Melonhead, well, you got another thing coming, man.
You got another thing.
Which one do you think they caught? Was it the guy with the plaid shirt or the guy with the Adidas?
Dude, it was clearly the guy with the plaid shirt they caught. It's pretty fucking clear just from the pic.
Well, his melon is ill-fitting.
Yeah, like his melon doesn't fit right. He looks like a pretender. This other guy's melon, like pretty much.
Oh, dude, you know what it is? They cut a big ass watermelon in half.
He's just like strolling, like casual as hell. The other guy looks tense. They definitely caught plaid shirt guy. They didn't catch.
He got the short end of the melon too. You can tell. I mean, the other guy's melon looks like it's covering his full head. I mean, like you can't see anything. The other dude, like I can see his neck. I mean, it looks like it's covering to here.
He made his melon into like a juggernaut helmet.
Yeah. I want this story to spin way out of control. I want there to be a rash of melon-headed fucking robbers and small-time.
A la Joker. All of a sudden.
I want it to become like the melon-head revolution, dude. If anyone out there is going to commit some petty crimes, please do so while wearing a watermelon.
The Melonhead Revolution is here. Take to the streets. Rob, pillage, rape, murder. It does not matter what you do as long as you do it the melon on your head.
And petty crimes. We don't need to take it to some rape murder level. I just want them to steal shit.
No, TJ. The movement has been taken from you. We first started with petty crimes. Now we do all.
I mean, like it just started like 2 minutes ago. What the hell?
The movement has been stolen from you. The revolution subverted.
Now we hate the Jews. It's like, God damn it. Why does it always go there?
Tonight's top story. Melonhead violence, which we were told was on its way out by President Trump in 2020, has tripled since that date.
Yeah, wow.
More and more melonheads roaming the streets, raping, pillaging, seemingly taking what they will from where they will. No facial recognition technology can defeat their melon disguises. And in fact, the melonhead might be your next door neighbor. And then after it all blows over, there's a movie, called Melonhead about a dude that lived a normal life, but at night he went out and perpetrated these horrible,
Melonhead crimes, yeah.
Oh, dude, Purge, Melonhead edition, dude.
Yeah, the Melonhead Purge.
Oh, it's all going to be good.
Well, why don't you kick it off, TJ? Go carve out. Okay. You're gonna no. Number one, you're gonna have to get a big ass watermelon. So
for because my head's already the size of a goddamn watermelon.
I guess that's small, TJ. What are you gonna do? Jaywalking?
I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. Don't go out and murder or rape or pillage right away.
Right. Well, that's Scotty's bag, man. I just wanted to go fucking steal some shit and break some windows. That's all.
You know what, TJ? You're gonna be our leader in spirit. Be like, all thanks to the work of Thomas Kirk, who tirelessly told us of the dangers of the Jew.
Man.
Yeah.
Why are you guys taking it to that fucking Nazi place, huh?
Dude, look, it's a dystopian fucking future, man. What do you want us to do? Be reasonable?
Come on. Can't just have a fucking gang of fun-loving melon heads to go and fucking commit petty crimes.
No. We're not.
There got to be some kind of bullshit,
No, come on. That sounds, TJ. That's too reasonable.
Yeah.
It's all the Jews' fault. Remember that.
You're a rude boy, Scotty. You're a rude boy.
You're a bad boy.
Anywho, that concludes the show. Thank you guys for watching. See you next week with more Flash Fried.
Sees ya.
Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Let me check the file.
Mine is split into 2 parts.